keeping up with our motto, let learning be a joy and teaching a pleasure. So here we are with the remote teaching and learning process to bridge the gap. Happy learning, students. Hello students, I, Miss Radhika Yadav, teaching at Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College, here again with you, dealing with subject History, Standard 7, Chapter 2, India before the times of Shivaji Maharaj, Part 2. In the first part, we had covered the topic Invasions from the Northwest, Sultanate in the North, the Kingdom of Vijayanagar. Now we'll see here the further topics. Krishnadev Raya. Now let's see who was Krishnadev Raya. Krishnadev Raya ascended the throne of Vijayanagar in 1509 CE. He conquered Vijayawada and Rajmahendari and annexed the regions to his kingdom. He defeated the sultans who had united under the leadership of the Bahmani Sultan Mahmud Shah. During Krishnadev Raya's reign, the kingdom of Vijayanagar extended from Cuttack in the east up to Goa in the west and from the Raichur Doab in the north up to the Indian Ocean in the south. He died in 1530 CE. Krishnadev Raya was a scholar. He wrote Amukta Malyada, a Telugu compendium on polity. The Hazar Ram temple and Vittal temple were built in Vijayanagar during his reign. The decline of Vijayanagar kingdom began with the death of Krishnadev Raya. In 1565 CE at Talikot, in the present state of Karnataka, there was a battle between Adil Shahi, Nizam Shahi, Qutub Shahi, Barid Shahi on one side and Vijayanagar on the other side. Vijayanagar was defeated. Thereafter, the dominance of Vijayanagar came to an end. Next we have the Bahmani kingdom. While Muhammad bin Tughlaqi was still reigning, some of his sardars in the Deccan rose in rebellion against him. The leader of these sardars, Hasan Gangu, defeated the army of the Sultan of Delhi. A new kingdom known as the Bahmani kingdom came into existence in 1347 CE. Make a note, Bahmani kingdom came into existence in 1347 CE. Hasan Gangu became the first Sultan of the Bahmani kingdom. He made the city of Gulbarg in Karnataka his capital. Next we have Mahmud Gawan. Let's see who was Mahmud Gawan. Mahmud Gawan was the first chief wazir. Wazir is nothing but the president of the Bahmani kingdom. He was a good administrator. He strengthened the Bahmani kingdom. He started paying the soldiers their salaries in cash instead of through land grants. He brought discipline in the army. He introduced many reforms in the land revenue system. He opened a madrasa at Bidar for Arabic and Persian studies. After the death of Mahmud Gawan, factionism increased among the Bahmani sardars. The conflict with the Vijayanagar kingdom had an adverse effect on the Bahmani kingdom. The provincial governors began to act more independently. This led to the disintegration of Bahmani kingdom into 5 small powers: Imad Shahi of Varhad, Barid Shahi of Bidar, Adil Shahi of Bijapur, Nizam Shahi of Ahmednagar, and Qutub Shahi of Golconda. Next we have Mughal power. In 1526 CE, the Sultanate of Delhi came to an existence. After the Delhi existence, Mughal power was established. Babur. Let's see who was Babur. Babur was the founder of Mughal power. He was the king of Fergana in Central Asia in today's Uzbekistan. He had heard of the wealth in India, so he planned an invasion of India. The reigning Sultan of Delhi at that time was Ibrahim Lodi. Daulat Khan Lodi was the governor of Punjab under the Sultanate. Make a note, Daulat Khan Lodi was the governor of Punjab. The relationship between Ibrahim Lodi and Daulat Khan Lodi was strained. Daulat Khan Lodi invited Babur to march on India. Taking this opportunity, Babur invaded India. To repel Babur's invasion, Ibrahim Lodi started with his army. There was a battle between Ibrahim Lodi and Babur on 21st April 1526 at Panipat. In this battle, Babur made use of an artillery effectively for the first time in India. He defeated Ibrahim Lodi's army, and this is known as the First Battle of Panipat. After the Battle of Panipat, Rana Sanga of Mewar brought all Rajput kings together. There was a battle between Babur and Rana Sanga at Khanau. Babur's artillery and reserve force played a key role in this battle, and Rana Sanga's army was defeated. Babur died in 1530 CE. Next we have Maharana Pratap. Let's see who was Maharana Pratap. After the death of Uday Singh, Maharana Pratap ascended the throne of Mewar. He continued the struggle for Mewar's existence till the very end. He struggled with Akbar to maintain his independence. He has become immortal in history due to his qualities of valor, courage, self-respect, sacrifice, etc. Chand Bibi. The Mughals attacked Ahmednagar, the capital of Nizam Shah's kingdom, in 1595 CE. The Mughal army put the fort of Ahmednagar under siege. Chand Bibi, the capable daughter of Hussain Nizam Shah of Ahmednagar, bravely defended the fort. At this time, there was an internal strife among the factions of the Sardars in Nizam Shah's kingdom. This resulted in the murder of Chand Bibi. Later, the Mughals captured the fort of Ahmednagar, but the Mughals couldn't bring the entire kingdom of Nizam Shahi under their control. So students, make a note over here. Who was Chand Bibi? Chand Bibi is the daughter of Hussain Nizam Shah of Ahmednagar. Rani Durgavati. Let's see who was Rani Durgavati. Gondwana can broadly be said to comprise the eastern part of Vidarbha, part of Madhya Pradesh to its north, the western part of today's Chhattisgarh, northern part of Andhra Pradesh, and the western part of Odisha. Durgavati, born in the dynasty Chandel, Rajput, became the queen of Gondwana when she was married. She was an excellent administrator. The struggle of Gondwana queen Durgavati against the Mughals is important in medieval history. After her husband's death, Durgavati laid down her life while fighting against Akbar, but she did not surrender. Akbar was well-versed and vigilant ruler. His religious policy was liberal and tolerant. He gave equal treatment to people from all religions. He founded Din Ilahi by incorporating noble principles from all religions, but never compelled anyone to adopt Din Ilahi. So, make a note over here, Durgavati is born in Chandel dynasty and she was the queen of Gondwana. Thank you, students.